Who's your emergency contact? Who's you notify in the case of death? Welcome to the USP, where I've spent the last 2+ decades of my life. I'm taking you to the event that led me to the SHU the year before I came home. So spare with me. It might take a couple episodes to get through the whole thing, to give you an idea of the politics and things that go on in the penitentiary. You know, on Sunday nights, we have a routine, not a habit, a routine of watching two different shows. One is The Walking Dead, and the other one was Animal Kingdom. You guys all know what The Walking Dead is. It's about the zombie apocalypse, end of the world, virus, all that stuff. I've been watching that since the beginning, of the series. And it's been like, 10 years it's been going on, even longer now. I haven't watched it since I came home. But another show that I got hip to was Animal Kingdom, which is about, these brothers, this family that out in California that are running around committing crimes and doing whatever they're doing. And we find these shows entertaining, but in each unit, each race has their own TV. The blacks have a TV, the Mexicans have a TV, the whites have a TV, there's a sports TV, and a native TV, and a news TV. But somebody always has the remote to these TVs. And on the black TV, over there in Florence, the one that had the remote to the TV was Wee from DC. Now, on this particular night, they're trying to watch Animal Kingdom, but the time slot is for The Walking Dead. So they had a couple people bickering about it back and forth. I don't care. That got nothing to do with my TV. I'm sitting over there watching Animal Kingdom on a Mexican TV. I got my headphones on, but, I never have my headphones on both my ears. So the whole time I've been in prison, I've never had both my earplugs in or both my headphones on to cover both ears. I always have one on and leave the other one so that I can hear what's going on in the unit. Because there's always something that's going to happen. You might not know when, you might not know who is involved, but you don't want to be sitting there with your feet up, your headphones on, tuned out to the program, and then get hit upside your head. I've been conditioned through the last 20 years to be always observant of my surroundings, to always be aware of the noise level and whatever else is going on. It's not me being nosy, it's me, protecting myself and my own interests. So on this particular day, I'm sitting there on my chair on the wall, watching the TV. Animal Kingdom is coming on. But I see Wee and a few other black dudes on the tier. I can't hear exactly what they're saying, but just from the body language, it looks like they're in a dispute. And whatever, I watch them out of the corner of my eye because I just want to make sure that whatever happens, I'm not going to be around it. Or, there's other people that's related to them around me. I want to make sure that, I'm always safe. It's just an automatic thing that's always in play from the time the door opens to the time the door locks. So I see them get into a confrontation up there, not a physical altercation, but just a verbal confrontation. And I see other people running up the stairs. Boom, boom, boom. You know, it's Muslims. It's the Muslims and it's the DC. And for me, you know, I was kind of like a little bewildered because, you know, he's from DC, but he's also a Muslim. And as far as in our block, he's kind of spokesman for the Muslim. He's, you know, he leads them in the prayers, you know, during their prayer time. And he does the, you know, where they announce, you know, I don't know how to, you know, how the prayers go, but where they announce it through the unit to call, you know, all the Muslims to come for prayer. And he's been in the block for maybe almost 2 years, a year and some change, you know. So when I see the Muslims grouping up in the DCs, I'm kind of a little bit confused. I'm like, is the DC against the Muslim? What's going on? So all the Muslims run over there. All the DCs run over there. And I see Wee arguing with this dude that just came off the bus. His name is Muhammad. Now, Muhammad, I was with him in Lompoc. You know, when we were kids. When we were in our 20s. And he just, about 2 weeks prior, he just came to Florence. And it's been a long time since I've seen him. You know, everybody's gotten a lot older and, you know, we changed. Hair's more gray. There's more wrinkles on our face, but I'm pretty good with faces. I might not be great with all the names and everything like that, but I'm pretty good with faces where I've seen somebody somewhere before. And with Muhammad, I know his history as far as, you know, him being a Muslim. There's things about him on his paperwork that ain't kosher, that if he were my homeboy, I would have smashed him off the yard. But he converted, he's from Texas, but he converted to Islam, became a Muslim, and he's been riding Muslim his whole bit, you know. But, you know, I'm not really here to speak on his case, because I don't really know his case, but there's been rumors of him being foul. But again, you know, as I've repeated on this program, that, you know, the Muslims, they allow a lot of dudes that aren't kosher into their community. So me and him are not friends or anything like that. I've just done time with him in Lompoc. So I see him and I recognize him, you know. But I see him and Wee, you know, getting a heated argument. And then I see, and he's small. The dude Muhammad, he's like maybe 5'6". Wee-wee's big. Wee-wee's at least 6 foot tall and yoked up, you know. And I see the Muslims come up and they're holding Muhammad back because Muhammad is in Wee-wee's face trying to get at him. So anyway, they break it up or whatever. Everybody goes to their corner. And like I said, I'm sitting down there watching, you know, Animal Kingdom. And the dude that's sitting down there watching with me is Playboy, the blood dude that I mentioned before from the Midwest. I guess prior to that, Wee and Playboy had some exchange, you know, some verbal exchange. So when they leave the downstairs, Wee comes around the tier, because where the Mexican TV is right by the front door. Where you come down the stairs, you walk a couple feet, and there's the TV, the white boy TV, the Mexican TV, and then on the other side is the black TV, facing the unit, and the native TV. So he comes down the stairs and he hollers at Playboy, say, "Hey man, let me holler at you," but in an aggressive manner, you know. But Playboy's like, "Man, I'm good." He's like, no, let me holler at you. Let me holler at you. But, you know, Playboy ain't got no beef with dude. They just had a dispute about what program they wanted to watch. And, you know, for whatever reason, Wee-wee's being aggressive. Like, I don't know the conversation that happened upstairs. But I'm watching. You know, for me, like if I was Playboy, I'd been like, "What's up?" You know? But, you know, Playboy, I'm not saying anything bad or anything on the homie or anything like that, But he was just like, he just brushed the dude off. He's like, hey, man, I ain't worried about it. I'm watching it right here, man. I'm done with that conversation. And a couple of DC dudes came down and grabbed Wee Wee and was like, hey, man, let's go. And put him back up. Put him back up to his cell. But for me, you know, just as an observer, I'm looking and I'm like, well, why did he come down here and be aggressive with Playboy when he had an opportunity up there with Muhammad, the little Muslim dude? And, you know, from where I was watching, it didn't look like he wanted to have any confrontation with the dude, you know? So, whatever, I continue watching my show and move on with my life, right? So, the next day, SIS comes and locks Wee Wee up. Wee Wee goes to the SHU, and he's in the SHU for about a week, and they let him back out. So when Wee Wee comes back out, you know, he knows somebody told on him. Somebody dropped a kite on him when SIS told him that there was some confrontation over the TV and got him locked up. And the person that he suspected was the dude, Muhammad. So, you know, if you suspect somebody that's telling on you, who dropped a kite on you, in my personal opinion, you're supposed to go there and smash this dude and resolve the issue, right? But instead, Wee Wee went to the imam, the Muslim community, and went and told him, hey, man, it's either me or him. You got to run him up, or because I'm not staying on the yard with him. Now, the reason I mention that is the homie Tone, DC, from DC, Tone. He doesn't function that way, you know? When Wee Wee did that, he got in Wee Wee's ass. He's like, we don't go tell somebody to run somebody up. We either go smash them or we smash all of them. We don't do that type of politics, right? And he was in there for like an hour just chewing Wee Wee out. And this was relayed to me from one of the dudes that fuck with Tone real tough. So anyway, the Muslims decide to send the dude up top, Muhammad. So he checks in and goes into the SHU. Now, a week later, me and Omar Spearman, him became celly because he was celly with Wee Wee, but he was trying to get away from Wee Wee. Wee Wee had, you know, he was just one of them dudes that everything had to be like perfect. He would sit there and freaking clean his toilet with his little freaking scrape, you know, them little green pads for an hour. Like when you go into Wee Wee's room, the shit is spotless. Like everything, all the shirts are crisp and folded up, and he's just, you know, a lot of people that's been locked up a long time like that, they develop these freaking, I don't know if it's ADD or OCD. It's OCD, you know, where everything's got to be in their perfect places, you know, and when things are out of place, they get all discombobulated and worked up and whatever. So, you know, Omar's from Detroit, but Omar's been around since the early 90s. He's in his 50s. At the time that I met him, he's already been down 30 years, you know. So he come down to me and he's like, hey, Mesa, you know, we knew each other from Beaumont. He's like, hey, Mesa, man, I'm trying to move up in that cell over there, you know, next door to Wee Wee. The cell somebody had went to the SHU and the cell was empty. And he's like, but the counselor won't let me move up there and live in there by myself. I got to have a cellie. I was like, shit, I'll be your cellie. He's like, man, your people ain't going to have a problem with you selling up with a black dude or nothing. I said, man, ain't nobody tell me what I can't do. You know what I mean? Say, I fuck with you, homie. And I'm going, you know, and I'm on my way out. I'm about to leave. You know, this is around May. You know, May, June. It's around June. And my release date is August 2021. So I'm thinking, right? You know, I'm gonna go get my year halfway house. So I'm like, man, look, I ain't tripping. I'll just move out. I'll let them know. You know, out of respect, I'm gonna go let the natives know. And I didn't have any homeboys in there at the time with me. I was selling up with the native bro. So I'm gonna let them know, hey, I'm gonna go over there and move in with Omar upstairs. You know what I mean? If you guys got any issues with any of that? You know, I went and asked them respectfully, not ask their permission, but just inform them because, you know, nobody speaks for me. You know, every yard I've been to, I've always, you know, been in the position that, you know, the homies nominated to speak for them, to be the spokesman and all that. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that I disregard the politics or disregard the rules. I can't enforce rules and laws if I myself don't abide by them. But I don't see any harm with any of my people, whether Asian or Islander, being silly with another race, especially if that other person is a good dude. You know, with the only time we have issues is you being silly up with a fucked up dude. And if he's a fucked up dude, it don't matter what race he is, whether he's white, black, Mexicans, or Asian. If you foul, you know, it's a no-no. But, you know, so I went to the bros over there and said, hey, man, I'm going to move over there in that cell with Omar so he can get that cell because I'm going to be leaving anyway. And besides that, you know, my cellie, he gets to have his own cell. So he's like, yeah, I'm cool with that, whatever. And there was no issue with me moving in the cell with Omar. You know, again, like anything I do, I always want to make sure that everything's always on the up and up because, you know, any misunderstanding can go awry and people can get hurt. So me and Omar, we move up there in the cell together. And, you know, he does his thing and I do my thing. Our routine don't change. I just, you know, for me, I'm just coasting. You know, I got like a month or two left and I'm going to a halfway house. So I'm thinking, you know, so I'm just really counting down the clock, minding my business, counting down the clock. So on this particular day, we're cooking. You know, I don't know what exactly we were cooking, but I'm down there because they took all the microwaves out of the penitentiary. So I'm down there by the hot water. We call it the 180, is where they have this little faucet where, you know, the water is 180 degrees that you go to fill up to cook your rice or your soup or whatever. So I'm down there filling up my bowl of hot water because I'm about to cook some food. And I look towards the front door because, you know, every week people get kicked out of the SHU and they always get kicked out right before lunch. So I see 4 people coming to our unit that just got released from the SHU. And one of them was Muhammad, the one they just checked in a week before. So when I look, I'm like, damn. You just got ran up top. How are you back in the unit? And as soon as he came in the unit, everybody in the unit, ears perked up, got a little straighter because they know, shit, this shit's about to go down. You know, because, you know, when somebody gets run up top, that means they're not allowed back on the compound. And my mind, I'm like, well, how the fuck is he back on the compound, right? So as I'm continuing to put water in my bowl, my cellie comes down, Omar. He comes down, he's like, he looks at me. And I look at him. You know, Omar's real close with the DC dudes over there. He's not the DC dudes, but with Tone. He's done time with DC Tone, been in different places with them, and they're pretty tight, you know. So Omar looks at me. He's on the steps because, you know, where the water is right by the steps from the back of the unit, by the showers. So he's standing on the stairs and he's looking down at me and I'm looking at him and he's like, man, it's the Black Rabbit. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, the Black Rabbit's back. You know, Omar, he be saying crazy shit, right? So he comes down to me, he's like, man, well, let's see what happens. I said, you shit. There's only one thing that can happen. He goes, yeah, I know. So, whatever. I finish putting my shit up. I go upstairs, put my bowl in the room. And I sit up, I have my door open. I got my chair in front of the door. And I'm just waiting for the show. Because it's about to be a show. Every single time when somebody gets run up top and the SIS try to release him back to the compound, you get a show. They call us for chow. And I'll let you guys know the rest of it tomorrow. Welcome to the USP.